How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Alan Staley, and this is Slinging Dirt with Staley. On this week's episode, driver of the Elite Welding and Fabrication, Dirt Sucks Car Wash, Sorensen Racing, Jensen Enterprises, Kelly's Auto Repair, Super Vac of Lincoln number 58 E-Modified from Lincoln, Nebraska, 13-year-old Destyn Whitney. I first met Destyn a couple of years ago when he came down to Atchison County Raceway to compete in the Kids Mods division, and right from the drop of the first green flag, it was apparent that this young man had talent. From interviewing him in Victory Lane in the Kids Mods class to the very next season interviewing him in Victory Lane after he claimed the checkers in the E-Modified feature, his driving ability progression and grasp of racing knowledge was inspiring to say the least. My own depth of respect grew when he and fellow classmate / competitor Cade Richards both wanted to move up the ranks from the Kids Mods class to the full-length 15-plus car field of E-Modified racing. They individually went up to every single driver and personally asked their competition for their approval to race. Unanimously, every driver gave the go-ahead to compete in the bigger classes, though laughingly regretting their decision when the two would outrun them in the weeks to come. As Destyn continues to climb up the ranks of the racing community, 2018 shows no signs of slowing him down, having already claimed the checkers at US 36 Raceway, as well as consistent top 5 performances at Bethany Fairgrounds Speedway, I-35 Speedway, I-80 Speedway, and Lakeside Speedway. His aspirations are pure and clear, his ego is low, he's humbled, all the while his personality is mature. With a pedigree of a District 1 BMX Championship, Nebraska State BMX Championship, a track championship in junior dragsters, a track championship at Bobcat Speedway in the Cage Kart, Kids Modified Track Championship at Atchison County Raceway, as well as runner-up in points in E-Mods his rookie season, it seems certain that young Whitney can wheel a race car. With over a dozen feature wins already, the sky's the limit for this extremely talented teenager. Needless to say, this one's pretty close for me, having seen the progression of his career, as well as witnessing how he interacts with his family and other drivers alike. It's encouraging seeing such passion and talent at such a young age. Hear all about what Destyn does during the off-season, where he wants his race program to progress towards, and why family makes the race world go round. Plus, his own Mount Rushmore of racing, if the infamous Mohawk hairstyle will make a return, and more on an all-new Slinging Dirt with Staley, starting right now.
Well, my dad first, he took me to the BMX races, and then when we were there, he told me if he wanted to do this, he would get me a bike, and then one day he brought me home a bike, and it sort of progressed from there. You
started out in the pedal bike world. Did you have any success in it? Did it teach you anything, any lifelong lessons, if you will?
Well, I had a fairly decent amount of success. Last year I raced, I got District 1 and State Champ. I mean, it's taught me how to be respectful to other people and not to, jump the gun too early on stuff.
Why the number? Is there any big significance to the number 58 that you support?
My grandpa used to race hobby stocks, and he ran the number 58.
And is that the number that you ran in the pedal bikes as well?
No, pedal bikes numbers went off of points.
So when did you make the transition from the bike world to the dirt track world?
Well, when I was 4 or 5, me and my dad and Matt Gropp, Elite Welding and Fabrication on my car, he's a big help for me. He does all my welding and stuff like that. He's a big mentor to me. He's taught me a lot, and his son has too, Trey Gropp. He offered my dad to build us a cage kart, and so we built... Me, Trey, my dad, and Matt built a cage kart over the winter one year, and I raced it a few times, and then they said, we're going to put this up for sale, and I didn't realize that it wasn't actually for sale. It was my Christmas present that year.
Huh. So you basically had a hand in building your first race car?
Yes. I can't remember what year that was. I think that was 2010 or something like that.
Do you have any race day rituals? Say, do you have to wear a certain hairstyle? Because I know you like to support the Mohawk. Do you have to wear green because of the color of your car? Is there any race day rituals that you have?
Well, not really, but before I go out, I have my grandpa and my great-grandpa on my decking, and they just recently passed away this winter, and they were a big support of my racing stuff, and so whenever I go out, I pray, and I talk to them for a little bit, and then I tap my decking on the side of them, because I have their names on the side of my decking.
Kind of like an inspiration type thing, where you keeping them in your mind when you're out there on the track. Is that what's going through your mind when you're sitting in the staging area ready to take the track?
I mean, usually I'm thinking about where I start, who's next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't worry about that too much though, because that stuff will get in your head, and I don't like that to get in my head. But I mean, I just sit there and I just talk to him for a little bit, and then whenever it's ready, time to go, I just let my mind go blank and don't think about anything else.
What about on the parade lap? Are you searching for the top or bottom groove? Are you searching for your spots in the corner?
Usually I'm looking for where all the moisture is. If I'm running the top, I'm trying to pack in the top.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm running the bottom, I'll just stay kind of close to the bottom.
Preferred line, top or bottom?
Top.
Top. Slide job, crossover. Which do you prefer?
I'm not a really big slide job fan because slide jobs can go wrong in a lot of different ways.
You got schoolwork and things like that to focus on early in the season, but during the summer you can really get in there and work on the car because you're pretty active in your schoolwork and athletics and things like that. Do you have a lot of time to work on the car?
Well, yeah, usually I have a lot of time to work on it, but usually I want to play hockey, but with the racing thing, I can't play it, but I like to go ice skating all the time, and I play iRacing all the time just to keep the muscle memory up. The
iRacing, that's the video game. Do you have big names you've raced against in the iRacing world?
I've raced with Jim Sobbing and Clint Boyer.
Where does the motivation come from? Why keep doing this?
Because I just love the adrenaline rush, and no one really else does this, and so it's kind of cool to be able to do a sport no one else does.
Mm-hmm. You talk about that adrenaline rush. Can you kind of elaborate more on that?
The speed of it, it's just fun going faster, and just being able to drive a car is just really fun at the age that I'm driving at. Yeah, you can't even drive legally on the road yet, but you've got multiple feature wins already to your name. Where do you see yourself going? What's the ultimate goal? Super late model is my ultimate goal. Super late models, you want to be like on a Lucas Oil or an MLRA tour? Yeah. How do you see yourself getting there? I don't know. I'm going to hopefully progress through modifieds and get there someday. Mm-hmm. What is the next step? We're going to go IMCA Sport Mod. IMCA Sport Mod. Are you listening receiver-wise, or is it more just whatever happens in front of you is what you're going to react to? I pay attention to what's beside me and what's all around me other than behind me. Now, can you hear the cars when they come up on your side? Not really, no. You just kind of go off of instinct and feel? I can see bumpers when they get up next to me and stuff. Is there any specific race where everything clicked and all of a sudden you realized, I'm not just out here taking laps, I'm a competitor, I'm a front runner, I'm a feature winner? Probably the first night that I would have won at Atchison. And how many times did you win at Atchison? Kids Mods class, I don't remember. I won a few times. Yeah, it was at least a handful because I'm pretty sure I was there in Victory Lane helping you celebrate on a handful. What is the biggest wreck or the scariest moment you've had either in the pedal bike world, the racing world, any of them? What is the scariest moment? I can usually recover from a wreck pretty good. I haven't really had too many scary ones, but I flipped my cage cart going to go around a girl on the high side, and I jumped over a right rear tire, and it sent me off the banking, and my right side quarter panel hooked into the track, and it flipped me up in the air. So I went over like 3 or 4 times, but I hit so hard upside down it knocked my visor open. And how do you get over that? How do you get the motivation to come back and do it either the next week or whenever you get the car built back? It didn't really faze me, but I got the car all back together, and I went out for my second heat race, and I got second in that. And do you even think about it? Mm-mm. I can't let it faze me. Yeah. 5 laps left in the race. The racing is tight. It's close. Where do you want to be to put that car in victory lane? Probably in the top 3 or 4. Yeah. Do you want to be out front setting the pace if it's a restart, or do you want the option to choose your line? I like to be out in front because you can hug the bottom and protect the bottom, or if you want to, you can protect the top and the middle. Competition or camaraderie? How are you viewing your opponents out there? Because you have a lot of fierce competition in the EMOD division, especially around here, and especially amongst young men like yourself. How do you view them out there on the track? The people that I'm more closer to, I like to be nicer to them on the track, but I'm not an aggressive driver. I'm not someone that'll take you out on the track or anything like that. Right. Who's been the biggest influences on your driving style? I know we spent a lot of time down there in Atchison, kind of hanging out, talking and everything, and it was awesome just to see your progression as a driver. Who's been the influences, if you will, on your career? Josh Munson, Rowdy, Bill Munson, all of them guys.
Are you thinking points when you're out there on the track?
I don't worry about points. I worried about points my first year because I just really wanted to go hard and make a name for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't worry about it anymore. Last year we didn't worry about points, and I did pretty good at points last year at Atchison. I think I got second in points.
Mm-hmm.
But this year we're just going to try to run as many tracks as I can, get more laps and seat time.
So far, which ones have you enjoyed? Are you more of a long track versus a short track fan, a high bank versus a low bank? Which tracks do you prefer?
I don't think any track could beat over Atchison, but
Yeah.
I like Lakeside. 35 is a fun track to run.
Mm-hmm. Favorite pre-race meal?
I don't really have one. I eat beef jerky a lot.
Just beef jerky. So that's if you're going to stop off at Casey's at like 2 in the morning after leaving the track, what's your go-to drink snack combination? Is it beef jerky and what to
Usually
drink?
we get Casey's pizza because that's my favorite thing from there.
Yep.
Usually on the way to the races I'll get like a lemonade and just beef jerky.
Mm-hmm. And then on the way home it's Casey's pizza and
Yeah.
another lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is your dream car? So whenever you're able to get your license, when you turn that age here in a few years, what is the car that you want?
1970s to 60s Camaros are my favorite cars. They've just been a really iconic car. My grandma, she has a 2012 Camaro SS, and that's a fun car to be in.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you had the option, are you wanting to just buy it outright, or you want to spend the time tinkering in the garage and building it up?
If I buy a car, I'm going to buy like an older car, and I want to build it up, ground up with myself and my dad.
Yeah. Hollywood is calling. They're making the Destyn Whitney movie. Who plays you?
I'd like to play myself.
You'd like to play yourself. There you go. I like that. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, just a couple more questions left, and then we'll let you get out of here. That way we can get ready for the racing tonight. Do you have anybody that you want to give a shout-out to, a special thanks for helping your career progress along the years?
My mom, my dad, Cole and Dan Wayman, Superback of Lincoln, Kelly's Automotive, Elite Welding and Fabrication, Dirt Sucks Car Wash, Solderson Racing, Jensen Enterprise, and Amsoil.
I think you got them all in there. Good job, buddy. And the first ones that you mentioned was mom and dad. And that is one thing that I have to admire about your racing program. It is a family atmosphere. It's fun. It's family foremost.
My sister, too. She's a big help, too. I don't want to race for a team. I want to race for myself and really nobody else because I just like being independent and doing it on my own, but it's really fun having my mom and dad help me and lead them on my way.
And can we expect a return of the Mohawk?
Yes, I still have the haircut.
You still have the haircut,
Yes.
so the Mohawk will rear its head again probably here before too long?
Yes.
Awesome. What's the future plans? Where are we looking at running for the remainder of the season, and what about for next year?
Next year I'll probably be at I-80 Beatrice, so I'll still run up here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to leave here. I'll always run up here. It's just really fun to run up here. I've made some really good relationships with some of the guys up here.
Yep.
But this year I'll probably finish up the season with Bethany, still 36, Lakeside 35. Hopefully going to hit some non-sanctioned shows at I-80.
Mm-hmm. Now, whenever you go up to those non-sanctioned shows, are you competing in the E-Modify? Because they don't run E-Mods, do they?
I compete with the sport mods. Last 2 weeks ago, I was leading my B, but I went up high and got into the wall, and I was with the sport mods, so I kind of showed myself there.
Yeah, but you were still able to be leading the way whenever you did. Final question, and it's kind of the staple of the show. What is your Mount Rushmore of racing? The top 4 drivers in your mind. They don't have to be the best by any stretch of the imagination. Just the ones that you like the most.
Bloomquist is a really big driver to me.
I like that. If he can win on 3 wheels, I mean, you got to include him on the list.
Yeah, Rico Abreu, he's really inspiring to me.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Smith, he found me on Facebook, and I've gone to a few races. I've gone to one race with him, and he drives a super late model. And probably Casey Kane.
Casey Kane. Is that who your guy is in NASCAR? You a Casey Kane fan?
Well, kind of, but I'm not really a big NASCAR fan. I like Dale Earnhardt Jr., but NASCAR really, I like the dirt track thing more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, once it gets in your blood, it's kind of there for good. All right, buddy, that's about all the questions I got for you right now. I appreciate you sitting down, coming by the house, talking to me, talking racing, and I can't wait to see your career progress in the next few years and can't wait to get you back on the show. All right, thank you.
All right, yeah.
Thanks, man.